Well, if you watched part one of assembling this Ender 3 V2 3D printer, you'll know that I'm ready to do some testing on it. Well, we're going to find out how well it works coming up. I'm Roger, welcome to the shop. Actually, it's the loft above the shop. I'm in a nice, clean, warm, dust-free environment, and I'm playing with my new toy here, which is the Ender 3 V2 3D printer from Creality, and I'm going to find out today if it works and how well it works. Yes, on the previous video, I did the assembly, and I showed it in great detail, including the mistakes I made putting it together, so maybe you won't do that same thing. Now we're going to get into the manual and see what it's going to take to get this thing up and running. Okay, to get started here, I guess I need to turn this thing on. Remember the switch, there's a switch. Let it boot up, and I did load the filament onto the spool on the top here, and it tells you to cut a little bit of an angle on the end of the filament, which I did. This is the sample filament that comes with the printer. Boy, it'd be nice if that was on a regular spool. And the next thing we're supposed to do is take this to prepare. And preheat. Let this thing warm up here. I don't know how long it takes really. It takes it to 200°C. Right now it's at 20°C. So it's got a ways to go. I guess while it's on its way up there, I could get started on the first part of it here, which is actually getting this thing loaded through the extruder and partway into the tube. You're supposed to depress the spring here, feed this through. With the curl on there, I don't really want to go into the hole. There it goes. And I'll stop right there until we get up to temperature. This little knob here does go up here to crank on it. And we're at 186, getting close. So according to the book here, you crank on this and keep feeding the filament until it comes out the nozzle. And I've got a little piece of twist tie here I'm going to use to wipe off anything that comes through. Okay, we are preheated. And we got some coming out the nozzle there, so that worked. Okay, next step. Says start printing. And I probably should make sure that my platform is still level. So we'll take this up to auto home. Next one is to disable the stepper. Can't imagine why this would have changed overnight, but it did. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Bed's getting warm. I know the bed heater works. And we'll take this back to auto home. I need to put this little SD card in, micro SD card. Back, and well, I have my choice of a dog or a cat. The dog takes less time than the cat does, so I guess we'll go with the dog. It's laying down its little purge strip. This is very quiet operation. I can just barely hear the fans. I'll keep printing or filming this here for a little. I'm not using film. I'll keep shooting video here for a little while. Then I'll probably shut this off because I'm not going to shoot 2 hours worth while it does this, but I am going to monitor it very closely. And I'll shoot a little video on it every once in a while to see how the progress is coming. But so far, everything looks good. I don't know if you could hear that, but one of the fans came on. It's not overly loud, but you can hear it. And I'll come back to this here in a while after it's printed some, and we'll check on the progress again. So did the first test print, and I think it came out pretty good. Right there, the little doggy there sitting on a base. And he's about an inch tall, and it took an hour and 10 minutes to print. So I don't see any imperfections on it, but then again, I'm not an expert at this yet. But I think I'll go ahead and do the next test print, which is a little cat. We'll see how that one comes out. Okay, set this to print. The choice here is the cat. Well, I guess we need to preheat things first. It doesn't work if it's not hot. Okay, got her up to temperature. Go to print. And away we go. A little bit more deluxe than the basic round base we had with the little dog here. That was just a perfectly round base, and this one here actually has some shape to it. Yeah, I'll check on this periodically. I let the last one go a little bit too long, didn't catch it when it finished. This is actually kind of fun to watch, just sitting back here and having a cold one and watching this thing do its thing and letting the cameras do their thing. Okay, and there we have it, the second test piece. It turned out rather well, I think. There again, I am not an expert at this, but now that I've run through a couple of test pieces and got a little bit more familiar about how this works, I'll go on to making something actually useful and start getting into some of the 3D CAD and getting into Slicer and creating some of my own projects. I've also found a couple other projects that I'm going to download and print, little utility things that are just useful around, actually for the printer and for around the shop. So that concludes my test of the Ender 3 V2. I'm pleased with it. There again, I'm a newbie, so learning as I go. And of course, if you got a little something out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. It always helps the channel. And of course, we're always looking for subscribers. And next to that subscribe button's a little bell. If you click that bell, you'll be notified when I post another video. Otherwise, I'm Roger, upstairs from the shop, playing with my new toy printer. See you in the next one.